Sometimes it's a challenge to get teenagers to look beyond right now. But we found a class that has teens excited about their future.
As Ms. Jelniker reports, it begins with a 7Everyday hero.
Firstly, thanks for coming. Thanks for your interest in our company and all.
Job interviews can be stressful.
What are some other good things you think your teachers might say?
Especially if you've rarely had to talk about yourself.
I was super nervous, like I was sweating. That's how nervous I was.
This is a mock interview session, but those are real business owners with real and often tough questions.
I'll break character once in a while and say, that was a great answer, or, don't embellish that so much.
This class is made possible by the Jefferson County Business Education Alliance.
How many of you guys are a little bit nervous about today?
Arvada business owner Dot Miller started the JCBEA back in 2011. After noticing many young people lacked business skills and confidence.
If we think back, every single one of us, when we had our first job, we were scared. We were nervous. We didn't know what we didn't know.
So Dot lined up area business owners to help her teach students in 9 Jeffco high schools to be workforce ready.
I think this really opens the students' eyes to how close they are to being adults.
It gets you motivated for after high school and exactly knowing what you need to do.
It gives you more practice, and I need more practice because I'm shy and I don't really like talking. So it made me get out my comfort zone a little bit.
The JCBEA program also energizes the business owners.
We had a realtor from Golden interviewing one time in a very first classroom, and he said, listen, I'm just here to do this mock interview. I'm not hiring. He ended up offering a job to that girl that day. He was so impressed. He had no idea that he was going to be that impressed with these students.
God, I leave feeling pumped up, She's offered me a chance to re-revitalize myself.
All this from one person who volunteered to help her community.
It is our hope and my dream that every teacher will want this in their classroom across the county.
Dot thinks we're here just doing a story on this class, and we are, but we're also here to honor her as a 7Everyday hero. So Denver 7 and Papa Murphy's would like to honor you as our outstanding volunteer.
So sweet.
How about that?
Oh, goodness.
Black Friday is nothing compared to one Chinese holiday. We'll explain Singles Day next and show you how much money people spent in 24 hours.
And Sports Extra starts at 10:35. Lionel, Troy, and Woody are breaking down the tough loss to the Patriots. $38 billion. That's how much shoppers spent on Singles Day in China, the biggest e-commerce holiday in the world. The holiday was started in the 1990s by a group of college students wanting a Valentine's Day-like day for people without romantic partners. And listen to this, 9 out of 10 people did all of their shopping from their smartphones.
And on the topic of shopping, Black Friday is less than 2 weeks away. Tonight, the National Retail Federation says Americans will spend an average of $967 during the holiday season. 2 out of 3 people will do some of their shopping on their smartphone, and more than half have already started their shopping. The study also asked people what they want most for the holidays. Gift cards were the most popular choice.
And coming up, the Broncos. Wow, an awful night, embarrassing night at Mile High.
Shall we list the issues? Special teams blunders like a muff punt to start the game.
And Tom Brady completely destroyed the Broncos defense. What are the coaches and players saying after this one? Lionel, Troy, Woody, and Allison are next with Xfinity Sports Extra.
Sports Extra. Remember Vance Joseph saying last week the Broncos would have to play a near-perfect game to beat the Patriots? Well, they played perfectly imperfect. On special teams, on defense, lost a turnover battle again. As Troy Rank said earlier on Denver 7, the Broncos haven't hit rock bottom. They're underneath that. It started with a turnover. First quarter, the first time the Broncos touched the ball. Isaiah McKenzie muffed a punt. Patriots recovered, led to a New England touchdown. Broncos got a field goal later to make it 7-3, then kicked off to Dion Lewis, who was 3 yards deep. While you watch this debacle, I'll tell you, they had this kickoff return for a touchdown, a muffed punt, as you saw, a blocked punt, and 12 men on the field during a Patriots punt. Special teams coach Brock Olivo might not want to answer his cell phone tonight. Broncos made some noise in the third quarter. Brock Osweiler to DT. The touchdown made it 27-16, and there was hope, but not for long. Brady had his way with the Broncos defense. The defense played like a beaten team. touchdown to James White. He had 3 touchdown passes, 125.4 passer rating, 41-16 final. Broncos have lost 5 in a row after that 3-1 start. All right, let's get out to Mile High now. Broncos insider Troy Rank and Denver 7 sports legend Woody Page are live on the field. And guys, I mean, 51 points last week, 41 points tonight. I misread this team, Troy. I thought the Broncos would come out with some fire, some passion, Sunday Night Football. Let's beat the Patriots. Let's get back on track. And they just came out, and we got another blowout loss.
Well, what it reminds me of, unfortunately, I have a lot of experience covering bad teams. They're teetering. They're emotionally fragile at times. And when McKenzie booted that punt, to give up that eventually just leads to things that these guys can't compensate for. Woody, 24 points allowed through special teams mistakes. Why McKenzie's out there, I have no idea. Their blind faith in him has cost them games. But Lionel, that's what I saw, is a team that's like, we know we have to play perfectly, and then what? Special teams? That's our issue now? And it directly contributed to the loss. I don't think they would have won, Woody, but it reminds me that bad teams find ways to lose. And Brock Olivo, for me, if he's not a casualty on Monday, there should be somebody. There's got to be accountability to this. I asked you, is this the worst special teams performance you've covered?
Yeah, and I go back to the 70s in 1974. I remember a similar game. I'd have to go back and look at the specifics, but I remember thinking at that time that this is the most amateuristic effort I've ever seen, and that's what we saw tonight. I mean, this team has reached the ebb and flow, and now they reach the depths of despair. Really, I mean, you were talking about they're fragile. They're broken. They're not fragile. They've already been broken. And until heads roll, and I mean that sincerely, if I were in charge of this team, I would remove Vance Joseph from a position of power and make Mike McCoy, who at least has a history of being a head coach, and we never saw the San Diego Chargers be quite this embarrassing. I think a special teams coach has to go, that you have to get McKenzie out of there. And Vance Joseph surprised me tonight. You know, he's so soft-spoken about everything, but when someone asked him why he kept putting McKenzie back in there, he said, he's our punt return. What he should have said is he's no longer our punt returner.
Well, it's confusing. And Lionel, the other thing, these slow starts, they've been outscored in these 5 straight losses, 55-9 in the first quarter, 106-24 in the first half. It gets ugly early, and they have no answer.
I'll say this, you know, when you lose like this, it's on all of us, you know, and, you know, it's a staff that we chose, you know, that we feel great about, you know, so I would say that. I would say it's on all of us, and we have to coach better and play better.
The record and the way we're playing right now is not a, you know, a clear indicator of that. You know, we got a good football team in us, but what we put out there is a bad football team. What we put out there last week is a bad football team. You know, Monday through Saturday it doesn't get any better than that for us.
You just got to wake up in the morning and think, hey, you know, we got to try to figure out how we can be the best we can possibly be today. Like, try to win the day, you know, try to win every single day. And then eventually it'll turn over to wins on Sundays. That's all you can do, man. You just got to try to make it happen, man. And it's not like nobody's trying. We're playing hard. You know, we're not giving up. I don't know. I'm sick. Sick and tired.
That's the sad part, Lionel. Effort is there. They're just not very good right now, and that's part of the issue. There's a reason they haven't won a road game. There's a reason they've lost 5 straight, and it's not just bad luck. That this roster right now doesn't have the talent to absorb this. They're getting no impact from the draft class outside of bowls. It is ugly, and we wonder, can it get worse, Lionel?
All right, we'll check back in just a few minutes with you guys, okay? Right now, though, let's listen to Brock Osweiler about whether or not he's worried about being replaced by Paxton Lynch.
I'm not going to put any pressure on myself either way. I think you guys know every single week I'm going to give everything I have to this football team in my preparation, in my leadership, and how I play the game. So I'm not going to put any pressure there. You know, those decisions are for, you know, John and VJ and Matt Russell to, you know, really decide where my future goes.
All right, again, we'll get back out to Troy and Woody in just a few minutes, but Denver 7 sports anchor Allison Mastrangelo was in the Broncos locker room tonight talking with Shane Ray.
Hey guys, I'm here with Shane. Shane, disappointing loss for you guys, but I could hear you talking earlier. 21 points on special teams. It seems like it's got you frustrated.
Yeah, to say the least. You know,